So this is Steve Savadesky, Bayoubuzz.com, and we have on the hangout Jeff Crouere. And Jeff, welcome on this Sunday. You're on your iPhone. That's why your screen is a little bit more narrow than mine. So why don't you, how you doing this Saturday morning?
Good, good. It's a sort of a big week in New Orleans politics, and sort of some exciting developments. Yeah,
absolutely. So why don't you tell us what's going on in New Orleans politics on this hangout on air?
Well, a lot of the political class for Steve thought that Mayor Landrieu was going to have a cakewalk for his re-election, and I kept hearing grumblings of people that were not happy with the mayor. Kept hearing from folks who said that they were, left out, and the mayor was very closed in his circle of people that he brings on to, the inner circle of city government and contracts and just whatever, grumbling. And that translated, I think, into a real push to find another candidate, and I think a lot of folks have been working behind the scenes for a while, and the judge, Michael Bagneris, resigned. Then he was able to jump in. He's got Greg Buson doing his media, and Greg's obviously very talented. He's got, looks like some of the, folks who have been around. I would suspect that maybe some of the Morial folks are behind him. I know he worked for the Morial administration.
At least Bagneris did. Bagneris worked. He handled his Morial's campaign, if I'm not mistaken, and he was the general counsel, I believe, for Morial way back. And we're talking about Dutch Morial.
Right, Dutch Morial, and then he ran a few times for different offices, was not successful, and then in '93 he got himself elected to the court, and he's been there ever since.
Now, that's a civil court.
Right.
Okay. Couple of questions. Number one, are you kind of surprised that, a judge of 20 years has decided to step down on a very, in my mind at least, a very risky adventure with somebody who's very popular?
Well, I guess a little bit, but he's 63. He'd been there 20 years, so might have been looking for a new challenge. Supposedly he had been thinking about running for mayor back in 2010, but held off. So this is obviously something he's been thinking about for a while. And I think he believes that maybe it's not totally a long shot, that if he can get about a quarter of the white vote, and he can keep Mitch to below 40% of the black vote, he can win.
Well, okay, those are big gifts.
Right, I know. But Landrieu always has a segment of the white community that isn't on board with him. That's how he lost the first election to Nagin. So I don't know if that is that big of a challenge. Republicans, white Republicans in the city might be interested in supporting Bagneris. It might be a way to hurt Mary Landrieu, who they desperately want to beat next November.
Sure, and I wrote a column about that, but let's not deal with that for a second. Let's just focus specifically on the mayor's race. But I do agree that whether it's intended or not, that could be the effect in terms of Bagneris. But okay, in terms, let's say Bagneris, I'm assuming that he's going to be supported by the Morial clan. I don't know for a fact. Do you have any information on that?
People are speculating that he will be, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is. Although, interestingly, Mary Landrieu had appointed him to a federal judgeship back in 2009, and he never got approved. So, he's not totally at odds with all elements of the Landrieu family, and obviously he's got Morial support, but then Mitch has always sort of been not that distant from the Morial family. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Well, the Morial family actually supported Mitch last time around.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering how strong is that Morial support. I mean, obviously the main supporter would be Jacques.
Right, Jacques, and then of course, they're also going to be trying to help Marlon Gusman win his re-election. So, are they going to be focusing on several races, or just really putting all their efforts behind Marlon? I don't know. All I know is this: I was talking to a lot of people yesterday, and Steve, there's some excitement about him, and there's some excitement about Mitch Landrieu being challenged. There does seem to be at least the possibility that he can put together a viable campaign and make it interesting. I think many of us thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and it might not be that now. And listen, we're not going to know, I think, for a little while to see what develops here. But here's his challenge, Steve. He's got New Year's. He's got all the different events coming up, and he's got to put something together and get it out to the voters before February 1st. I mean, it's amazingly tight.
Which is, to me, bizarre. I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, I know that there has been a lot written and a lot said about Bagneris being a one-issue candidate. I'm not going to say that's true. The issue is Bagneris's anger or disagreement about where the court would be placed. Landrieu wants the charity hospital, old charity hospital, and Bagneris wants another location closer to where the court currently is, or some other location in the CBD. But how in the world? I mean, seriously. I mean, Bagneris is a very bright guy. I mean, he really is. There's no question about it. And so is Landrieu. So, but how is Bagneris going to, one, he's going to have to raise an incredible amount of money. I mean, think about what Landrieu did 4 years ago. Landrieu beat John George's, and John George's funded his own campaign. Not just beat George's, but, beat some candidates that beat a candidate that.
Well, I think
Greg Buisson was the
Troy Henry. Steve, he's going to need, I think, got to have 7 figures, and Mitch has got 2, so I don't think he's going to be able to come anywhere near to what Mitch has, but I think he would need to raise at least $1 million.
Oh, I mean, I would think so. Against a person with, I think the last poll was a UNO poll. Just off the top of my head, I think his popularity was 63% in terms of Mitch Landrieu's popularity. He's got that money. He's got name recognition. He doesn't have to do branding. He just needs to get, and he's got a record. You can disagree with the record, agree. I mean, but, it just seems to me somebody who has been a civil court judge, and with some support of the say the Memorial and also the George's campaign, how in the world is he going to raise money, raise the issues within 2 months, given Saints season, given the holiday season?
I know. What he's going to have to do is use the next 3 weeks to raise the money. Then he's going to have to hit the ground running right after the new year and a sprint to the finish, three and a half weeks of media, and do it in between the Saints and everything else. So, yeah, I mean, it's incredibly favorable to the incumbents, this type of a calendar.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Now let's just talk about 2 other races, if we might, and actually.